Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello stock friends, checking in on the markets. So we had the bounce following through today with an hourly trend change. We had the tightening range yesterday. After hours, futures broke bullish. We started the S&P 500 opening and breaking its resistance first thing today, leading us to zoom out and look for the daily bounce to take place. So fear is subsiding for now. Again, I will look at every dip as a dip to be buying as long as we are in a weekly uptrend or unless we see massive bear volume. So at this point, 4-hour time frame has the most clarity. Apple just had earnings. Its initial reaction was bullish. It did pull back multiple percent from its high of the reaction, 327s down to 320. It's still above where it closed. The tech sector is still at all-time highs, and the S&P 500 is still strong after hours. But what we're looking for is the 4-hour time frame for clarity on everybody. And if you've been watching this channel for more than 4 months, thanks for sticking around. But you will remember we did this exact same thing in October, and the 4-hour time frame was a great guide. We dumped, we had a great bounce, we had the 4-hour equilibrium, it broke bull, and we continued bullish. So we are going to be using the 4-hour time frame again, just like back then, and what we're going to be looking for is the all-time high, low the dump, scouting a lower high, then we'll look for a higher low, and we're going to look for a tightening 4-hour range into the end of this week. When we have topped out, we will lose the hourly uptrend. So as of right now, the high of today was 327.85. Our hourly higher low is 326.63. If we break 326.63 tomorrow, our 4-hour lower high has been set, and we look for the higher low to then be set compared to 322.66. If we hold that hourly support and break the high of today, that will just continue to favor bulls. 333 to 322, let's just round it, and we'll say that that is an $11 drop. So we need about a $5 bounce. We're at the midway point right now. Any further upside the bulls get from here is just bonus to give themselves more space for when we consolidate to form a higher low. So that is the most likely scenario based on experience as to what's going to play out in the short term, keeping in mind we do still have some earnings. We got the FOMC tomorrow, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is the market is pretty certain. We're not going to see many changes, but it will be the forward-looking statements that the market reacts to. So pretty much we're just waiting to see how much more upside can we get before we get to a 4-hour lower high. I personally am looking short-term bearish at this point, if not already in positions, because we have already bounced so significantly, and I know that the lower high is the more likely scenario, so entering bullish at these levels is not ideal risk to reward. IWM, 4-hour chart. Less of a bounce. I should say less impressive of a bounce. $6 drop. We need to get to 165.40s to the midway point. So we did get right around to the midway point. Again, same thing. Hourly uptrend is our guide. 164.57 and the high of today. If bulls break the high, they give themselves more space on the 4-hour chart. If we lose the hourly uptrend, our 4-hour lower high is set. QQQ, same thing. They're getting an after hours boost thanks to Apple earnings. Drop of $9, 21.60s. We're more than the halfway point. Same thing though. Looking for the 4-hour lower high compared to 226. The hourly higher low is 221.04 to try and keep the bulls in control. XLF, 4-hour. So we're looking at anything under 30.83 as a 4-hour lower high. We have bounced about 50% plus, more than 50%. So bulls are just fine. Even if we top out, we are looking for 4-hour higher lows. What would shift that? Increasing bear volume on the 4-hour time frame would lead to a possibility of lower highs and lower lows. I would feel that we would need some headlines or some very bearish FOMC reaction in order to see that take place. Hourly higher low on XLF, not really clearly set. Anything above the low of today is an hourly higher low. XLV, 4-hour chart. So looking at anything under 104.40. Hourly high or low, as our guide for tomorrow is 102.08 support. Biotechs, 4-hour time frame. Looking for the lower high. Hourly high or low is 91.38. So hopefully this video is conveying how simple we can make things by just setting clear levels. Lines in the sand, as I call them. And it's a very simple way of trading. Emotion doesn't come into it. If the hourly high or low breaks, then it's all if-then scenarios. If the hourly high or low breaks, then our 4-hour lower high is set. If the hourly high or low breaks, then we look for a 4-hour higher low compared to the low of the dump. If the hourly uptrend remains intact and we break the high of today tomorrow, bulls gain favor on this 4-hour equilibrium, giving themselves more space to work with. The VIX pulling back, looking for a daily higher low compared to 1260. Certainly going to expect a daily higher low, just like we're looking for a SPY lower high. 4-hour time frame, same thing. We're looking for the higher low, and then we're going to look for a lower high. Gold pulling back today. Daily 12-period exponential support is key for me because of how many times it has held. If we lose that support level, 3-day equilibrium. High, low, lower high, and we would then scout a higher low compared to 1536 for the range to continue to tighten. Silver is dumping. Very bearish compared to gold. Lower high, or actually it wasn't a lower high, we broke resistance, but then a dump to a lower low. And at this point, the past 2 days from the high, we have dropped 5%. Last 2 days on gold from the high, we have dropped 1.4%. Very big difference. I have no interest in silver, personally. Even down to the monthly time frame, we've been seeing this weakness for a while. Let's actually go to the 3-week chart. High, low, lower high, so a 3-week equilibrium. What does gold look like on the 3-week time frame? An uptrend. High, low, higher high. Big difference. Miners, I'm viewing this as an equilibrium just to smooth things out. Again, the 2-day time frame. Resistance, support, resistance, all about 29.05 into tomorrow. Hourly RSI, pretty beat up today. I did trade the oversold bounce on NUGT for a quick flip. 2-minute time frame changed the trend. Forgetting where I entered. It was on this last dump back here, earlier in the day. So that little shift was enough for me to play the oversold bounce, and it was directly inverse. It was inversely correlated to SPY, and I saw SPY start to pull back. I saw NUGT change the 2-minute trend, and I think my trade was something like 30.95 or something to 31.20s. Just a short-term little move, looking for a 5-minute lower high on that bounce. So I will be interested in miners tomorrow for the potential play off of 29.05, and that would line up if the gold bulls can hold the daily 12-period exponential support. At this point, the 4-hour time frame getting a little bit extended from its equilibrium bear break, the hourly RSI on the verge of oversold. Keep an eye on bull miners tomorrow. Oil, a little bit of a bounce, up at the high of the bounce right now. Inventory report is tomorrow. I don't like the clarity here. I would want to ideally see a more clear pivot for a 4-hour trend change. This is more like just a slow grind up. So I changed time frames to look for something more clear. 12-hour chart, we're just looking for a lower high to be set, and we know we'll need a 12-hour trend change for meaningful follow-through. Inventory report is going to determine if this daily oversold bounce gets follow through or if we're headed right back down to test the low of 52.18. Natural gas, tightening range continues on the 4-hour. Might have to wait until the inventory report on Thursday for a break here. Low, high, just held support. Anything under 1964 is a lower high. If this 4-hour inside bar breaks bearish, then our lower high is set at 1938. If it doesn't, then we haven't set that lower high yet. Lots of 4-hour time frames giving us clarity. That's where we stand in the market. Again, not liking bullish entries at this point as we are looking for 4-hour lower highs to be set. Could tomorrow be a green day? Absolutely. But risk to reward dictates for me that I'd rather sit that out and patiently wait for that lower high. FOMC will give us some volatility. Hourly uptrend is our guide for our broader 4-hour equilibrium anticipation longer term guide. And how the 4-hour equilibrium breaks is going to determine what we're looking for on the daily and weekly chart. It's all just time frames built on top of each other, and we take it one time frame at a time. Have a good day. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you tomorrow.